10?
Yes. Yes.
We made
We
it to
did
double
it.
digits. Episode 10 of the Mom Game. I'm Emily Jones. She's Julie Dobbs. This, Julie, is the look of a completely flustered woman.
I don't think you look bad. You don't look flustered. I'm flustered too.
I think probably a lot of people are flustered. Like, I'm so flustered right now just trying. My dog got into a fight over the weekend, unexpectedly had to take him to the vet. Hattie has the most terrible teeth, which we'll get into that in a little bit.
She has just the most terrible teeth, just generally.
She has the most cavities of any 6-year-old ever. So she's got to go to the dentist. And then I told you, did I tell you about the front office? But I feel like now I'm just like exploding with.
Please do. That's what
like
I'm here for.
Yep. So did I tell you I was doing that front office thing, running challenge with some other front office people?
No, I thought I knew everything you were doing. But
no. So we did one in April. We did one in April, and I'm super competitive, as you know. And so I was running like a crazy woman to try to win this contest. This other guy who's used to be actually a catcher in our minor league system, then ended up going to work in the Mariners front office. I think he's in the Mariners front office. Anyway, he got first place. So then it was who could run 36 miles in the fastest time, like over the course of, the month. And so once I saw he was like at 8 miles, then I was like, I got to up it. So anyway, it was stupid competitive. Dear. So I started running a lot. And I got second place, which I was actually really proud of.
Wow.
Out of like 40 people.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm totally bragging. I'll totally own it.
That's okay. You deserve it. Running's hard.
But in the meantime, I'm not young, and running on pounding pavement over the course of time can wear on you. So now I told you I tore my meniscus. I'm just laughing at myself. I'm just like,
you tore your meniscus dancing
on the dance floor. So got a cortisone shot. I'm in good shape there. And then all of a sudden my ankle starts hurting on the other leg. And I'm like, oh, this is fine. This is fine. I rested a couple days, would keep running, and then, still hurt. But then running brings me so much joy as far as like sweating, breathing hard, clearing my head. It's how I'm surviving during this whole crazy shit. And so I kept on running. Well, now it's like I've looked like I've got a cankle and it hurts so bad. And so now I suck it up and I call Dr. Meister, who's the Rangers team orthopedist. And I'm like, I got it. Because I think I'm just like, if I keep putting it off, maybe it'll go away, which is the dumbest logic ever.
Right.
So now I've got to go and see him. So I've got the dog in the fight and the kid with the terrible teeth and me with my bum ankle, and I'm getting old and we're in COVID-19. And I'm just like, I thought we were recording this podcast at 2 and we're supposed to start at 1. And
so did I.
And so here I am. I'm presenting you flustered AF.
Oh man. Isn't it funny? Because and maybe it's just us, like maybe we have a problem, but when you're working, like when I'm working, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so busy because I've got to work and then I've got to do this. And now all of a sudden I don't have to work, but I'm manufacturing these issues. I'm like overbooking myself and trying to do too many random things to like, in whatever it is, kid stuff or ways to make money or do what I want to do personally. And then all of a sudden there's not enough time in the day and I'm not even working.
Yeah. And there's Zoom calls and there's
the Zoom calls
parties and there's teacher appreciation. And I'm just like, I've got, and my kids earlier, I was like, Henry, Hattie, get in here. Get in front of the camera. Say something nice about Mr. Hill. Get in front of the camera. Tell Jack happy birthday. Just like, they're like, oh my God. Like, what do I say? I'm like, I don't care. Just say something. Like, I've got all these requests.
It's too much. And it's like too disorganized that it makes it more crazy. I had to I think teacher appreciation is today, right? Or
it's all week.
All week.
And please, more than any time, I appreciate teachers.
Oh my God, yes.
The stuff, there's so much to do.
There's so much stuff. And I kind of just decided, like, I appreciate my teachers and I'll show them later. I'll show them in another way. Like, I'm so bad at all of these, like, gifts, even Christmas gifts. I never get them out on time. But you know what I do? I wait till, like, January when they're least expecting it and I hit them with some Stars tickets.
You're like, awesome.
Because I don't have to necessarily pay for those. So I'm like, and then I'm like, the best one. Exactly. I'm that way with all of my teachers. I appreciate my teachers, but I don't. And then I get this like, I don't know if your kids are doing like the chain letters, but I got a chain letter for stickers, like a sticker chain thing. And this is one of my mom fails of the week. I've had a couple big ones, but yesterday we got this sticker chain letter, and it's like, you know, you move so-and-so's name from number 2 to number 1, and then you mail number 1 some stickers. And
that already stresses me out.
It already stressed. Yes. And then at the bottom, it's like, please make sure you do this. The kids love it so much. We're all really busy. I'm like, I was just going to ignore this. So I did that. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to fill this out like as I read it with Ryder and have him write his name on the blank, which is like hard to get him to do anyway.
Right.
So first of all, I told myself that was his school for the day, having him write his name there. I was like, perfect. That's school. That's all of your curriculum for the day. Class is dismissed. So I had him do the whole thing. And I get to the bottom and it's like, please leave this 1 page blank and make 6 copies to mail. So it's just as easy for everybody else as it was for you. And I'm like, well, damn it. I just had Ryder write his precious little name. Like I already wrote the name and the address, and now I don't have a blank one. So like, we literally can't do it. I have to like call up the other moms and be like, I screwed this up. Does anyone have a blank? You know, and it's cute. It's a cute idea, but it's just like all of these things. It's all excessive, and I'm failing miserably, Emily.
Yeah, I mean, and it's adorable, and they're great ideas, and the people who start these have wonderful intentions, and I appreciate them for that.
They do.
I'm so glad they all aren't like us and me.
Yeah.
And
no.
all that. I'm so glad there are people like this who think of cool things to do. But I will say during this time, I feel like there's so many people doing so many of those things. You know, it's like
it's overwhelming.
I know.
And then
I feel like I'm a giant bee. Like I'm like, oh, you know, they're like the drive-by birthday party. I'm like, oh my gosh, if we have to do one more drive-by.
Have you been in the parade yet?
Oh, yeah.
For somebody?
Yeah. But then what's going to happen? Because you know, Hattie McCoy, my daughter is going to want a drive-by birthday party, and then I'm going to be like having to eat because I was like, you know, participating in everyone's drive-by birthday party.
I thought I was good. They had like a teacher parade at Ryder's preschool to go see all the teachers for Easter. And I was working still then. So I told Kelly all the details, and my husband, Kelly, for those listening. And I'm like, all you got to do is pack up the kids and drive through. And then he comes back and he was like, that was really cute, but we were the only car that didn't have signs and decorate our car. I'm like, well,
balloons.
I mean, it's like these people really are dedicating their lives to their kids, Emily. It's like they really care.
I know. I don't want to necessarily be, I wish I was better in that regard, but I don't want to be extreme, but I need to learn how to make a sign. I don't know.
You know, it's like, okay, let's do this. I've got markers, but now I need poster board, and I'm not going to Walgreens because I don't want to wear a mask, and it's not worth it. The poster board is not worth the mask. It's not worth the trouble. It's not worth the risk of getting COVID. Like, sorry, I don't have a sign. Like, you know.
So yeah, we did the whole tape, like 6 pieces of copier paper together, and I was like, there's your sign, you know.
So you taped, and then you turned it over so the tape was on the back. Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you could just use a Sharpie and tape right on the tape.
Yeah, it's not the prettiest, but I'm like, it's the thought that counts, right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's a lot.
So I feel like this episode is totally devoted to giant mom fails, but with a little baseball mixed in.
Yes.
So, okay, because I want to get back to my dentist mom fail.
Okay.
In a second.
And then I have another one.
Okay, good. So this is mom fails.
Lots of mom fails.
With baseball as the meat.
With baseball in the middle.
Okay, so Trevor first of all, the KBO is being played, which is the Korean baseball organization. And ESPN is airing like 6 games a week, which is super cool if you want to get a fix.
Right.
I think they're airing at really obscure times, which would make sense because it's in South Korea. But the Rangers do have a couple of ties over there. Adrian Sampson, who was one of our starting and relief pitchers last season, is over there. I forget who he's playing for, someone. And then Jared Hoying, who played for us for a while, outfielder, he's also over there. So if you're jonesing for some baseball, that is a nice little fix. And the way that Korean baseball is played, I've only gotten a small dose of it. As far baseball in Asia, it's played super cool. Like they're really rambunctious. I don't know how much it can be that way since there's no fans, but I think they have interesting ways of spicing it up. So
yeah.
Anyway, if you're looking for some baseball, that's a little, maybe.
Don't they have like cardboard cutouts of people in the stands, and they have like a photographer guy, and then crazy fan guy? And,
yeah. Might as well have a
Why not?
And then on Monday, so just pull the curtain back. We usually record on Tuesdays. Usually we record later in the evenings and afternoons, so Julie and I can have drinks. But now it's 1:00, and it's probably not appropriate, even though today it might warrant it.
Yeah. Although last week I did 2:00 with you and Mike Reiner. I drank.
That's true.
It was a rough start to the day.
Lord. So Monday, Trevor Plouffe tweeted out, I forget the exact verbiage, but it was basically to the gist of, if you're looking for some good baseball news, I've heard from multiple sources that, basically spring training version 2.0 will start, I think it was June 10th. And then the season opening day would be July 1st, and all teams will be playing in their home ballpark.
I saw that. It came out of nowhere.
And Trevor Plouffe had a nice major league career. He's not playing anymore. And now he's a reporter for somebody. Yeah.
Okay.
And so now he's on the media side. And so he said, according to multiple sources, and really none of the traditional baseball writers nationally, the Ken Rosenthal's, the Jeff Passan, the Tim Brown's, they really haven't come out and, further clarified on it or elaborated on it or backed it up. But I did talk to a couple people who said that yes, this is what they want to happen and what they hope to happen. There's still a lot to work through to get to where they want to be. And that is ultimately where they want to be. And I know
he jumped the gun on tweeting it out.
And maybe he,
it seems matter of fact. Like, this is what's happening. Congratulations, we have baseball. Yay.
Right. And I think that probably he felt good about it. And like I said, I don't think he was necessarily wrong in the tweet. I mean, it seems like, that is what they're efforting toward, but that not all the steps have been taken in order for that plan to be carried out.
Right.
So,
yeah.
But that is exciting. I mean, and it's something nice to think about. And the fact that when I did reach out to people and ask them about the validity of that they didn't swat it out to half court and say, no, that's a base. There's no
interesting that they could have all of the games played in each stadium.
Well, and I think that's where the biggest holdup is, right? I mean, because you've got states like California that are firmly against, anything.
They can't leave their house.
But I think in order for the players to sign off on it, I think that's a deal breaker. I think and so I think baseball has kind of realized that, and they're trying to do everything they can to make that work. And so, and who's to say that, the governor of California wouldn't make a special exception for this to take place, or what?
It depends if he's a big baseball fan.
Very true.
If his team has high hopes for the season or not.
Exactly.
I feel like that was kind of the general idea of what has happened with the NHL as well. They were trying really hard to get guys back skating in their facilities, where the states where the facilities are open by the end of or mid-May, end of May. And then they were really working towards, from what I understood, having 4 mutual site cities to play. And I think Dallas was even one that was in consideration. But just like baseball, they got a lot of backlash from the players. And you've got to understand where the players are coming from, saying,
sure,
I don't want to be away from my family for 2 months or 3 months or however long it is. That's a really long time. So I don't think that those mutual site things, it sounds like, are going to work for either sport. But, you've got to just exhaust every option at this point. And I think they are. And hopefully we'll get sports back at some point.
Well, and what's the deal? So we know, what's the deal? Are players getting paid? Are hockey players getting paid?
Hockey players are getting paid right now. And I don't know much about all the technicality of it. I know that they have in their CBA, it's revenue sharing for the players and the owners. So I know that if the season were to not get finished, then the players would lose a lot of money, like half of their salaries for some of the players, you know, which is a lot. Even if you make $8 million a year, $4 million a year is not what you were really expecting. And then on the lower scale, it hits even harder if you don't make half of your salary. So that was all part of the negotiated force CBA with the players the last time they had their holdout and all of that. So they want to play.
Yeah.
They want to get paid. They want to play.
Yeah. And baseball players are not getting paid right now.
Right. But their wives don't want them to leave for too much.
Right. Exactly. And so you're trying to find a balance of, you know, you've got the players who don't make as much money, who really need to play, you know, and they can't afford to forego, a season's worth of salary. And then you've got other players that are like, I mean, I don't know that I think I can survive if it comes down to having to choose between that and being away from my family.
Right. You said they're not getting paid right now, Em?
They are not.
They are not.
No.
Wow.
And it doesn't start until games are played.
Wow.
It's like game checks. And so, I mean, it's, if you don't play, then they're not getting paid as of right now. Now, if there were to not be a season, I don't know exactly what the collective bargaining agreement looks like. I'm not going to pretend like I do. But I do know they are not being paid right now.
Okay. So they're going to want to figure it out too. Jeez.
Right. Exactly.
It's hard because then you've got like the health officials saying, no, like don't gather, don't leave your house.
Right.
Still, things are getting worse. It's like,
something's
got to give somewhere. I don't know. It's tough.
I know. I completely agree. I know, but it's all
pandemics are tough. Write that down.
Pandemics. You heard it here first. Pandemics are not fun, and they're tough.
They're tough.
Yeah. So here we are. I mean, I got my pay cut 20%.
Did you?
Starting, I think, May 15th. And the way the Rangers handled it, I thought was really cool. They came to us. They came to me. I don't know who else they came to, and just said, the ownership would like to not have to Merlo people. Mm-hmm. And so in an effort to do that, we've asked certain employees at certain pay levels to take a 10 to 20% pay cut. Who knows if I would have reached out to my attorney and said, what are my options here? I was obviously said, of course, it's the right thing to do. And
right. And literally everybody, I feel like, is having that happen right now.
Exactly. And so, it's not like I'm not getting paid for work that I'm doing. I mean, I'm doing some work obviously, but nothing near what I would be doing if we were playing a 162 game season. So I kind of conceded that. I mean, it still sucks, don't get me wrong, but
because you budget based on what you think you're making, and you have your lifestyle built based on what you think your income is. That's what Kelly had. My husband had that. I think most of the Stars employees, coaches above a certain pay level as well. That happened like a month ago. And then I know that the Stars organization has just recently furloughed all of their front office. That was news this past week. I don't know. It was all of their front office. Majority of their front office is furloughed till July, I think. So it's just crappy. It's like when you think that you might be okay, then the next wave comes and you're not okay. And everyone's just trying to survive at this point.
Yeah, I know. It sucks, but add that to the list.
Yeah, exactly. The good thing is, like Kelly and I were talking about, we're not spending very much money right now. Like, we're not doing anything. We're spending more on takeout and delivery and of food and all that. But other than that, every other aspect of our lives, we're spending less money.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Okay. All right. There's the meat.
So there's our baseball meat.
The sports meat. Well, you gave us some hockey news too. So we got some sports meat in our mom fail sandwich. Okay. So you go first.
So I screwed up the sticker chain letter yesterday, and then today, so I have been trying to play tennis. Tennis is like one of my favorite things to do in the world. Before I took the job at the Ticket, I was playing 3 to 4 days a week during the week, and then I had to basically quit all of the teams I was on once I took that job. So the first thing, once I got Merlot, I texted all my tennis friends and I was like, hey, I'm back. Like, maybe just for a couple months. Like, I can't join any teams, but I can play. So I had the opportunity this morning to play doubles, doubles is now legal. It was illegal. So I was only playing singles, which kicked my ass. I cannot do singles anymore. But was playing some doubles this morning. And so we were reading yesterday about the Blue Angels and how they're supposed to fly
Yeah.
over here in Dallas this week. So I got a text from my aunt, and I was also thinking it was today. My aunt was like, "Hey, Julie, you might want to take the kids out, today at 11 o'clock, blah, blah." So I'm like, well, crap, I'm playing tennis. I'll ask Kelly to do it. It'll give him a good activity to do. So I text him this morning as I'm on the tennis court, and I'm like, "Hey, 11 o'clock, like, make sure you take the kids out to see the Blue Angels fly over. I'm sure Ryder will think it's really cool." And he's like, "Okay, great." So I didn't hear anything for like 2 hours. Then I get a text back, and he was like, it's tomorrow. I've been sitting in a field with both of our kids and the neighbor kids all waiting for this flyover. They like walked down to the park, and poor Ryder just loves seeing airplanes or anything like that. So he's just staring into the sky waiting. And then not only was I off playing tennis, but then Kelly had to deal with a meltdown because it didn't happen. So I felt bad.
Tell you, I did the same thing. So I did the exact same thing
today.
But I did, yes.
What is with us?
I don't know. So I had to go run an errand. So my sister's here with her kids. We left Virginia and all came here. So I was in Virginia for a week, drove 17 hours home on Monday. That's Tuesday. That's why today's so crazy. Anyway, so I've got to go. I had to go to the bank. So I call her and I'm like frantic, like it's like 10:53. I was like 11 o'clock. Blue Angels are flying over. Go get the kids out and get them in the front yard.
You feel like you have to do something, right?
Something.
You can't ignore it.
And then, this morning I even told Hattie, like, do a project on the Blue Angels. She's like, "What's that?" I was like, "That's why you need to do a project on it. Tell me about the Blue Angels." So anyway, whole thing. And then like at 11:05, I guess my sister, who's way smarter than me, like Googled it, and she's like, "It's tomorrow." And I was like, "Oh, of course."
Of course.
Awesome.
We're trying. Yeah. We're trying.
I know, trying so hard. So bless my sister's heart. Now that this, we've had mixed up on time on this podcast. So, Hattie had the dentist appointment, which brings me to my second mom fail and third. So she's having to take Hattie to the dentist right now because of my crappy brain.
Yeah, because we are not organized.
Right. So the reason that Hattie's going to the dentist and that she has the worst teeth ever. So when like a year ago, we go to the dentist and or maybe a year and a half, whatever, irrelevant. The dentist is like, does x-rays, and she said she has cavity, she has some cavities, and like she needs 4 crowns. And I'm like, what the like, she's 5.
Oh my gosh.
How is this even possible? And so I was like, in their baby teeth, like I'm not
right. They're going to fall out.
They're going to fall out anyways.
You're going to yank them out.
So, she says whatever she needs. And so then I'm like, okay, whatever. This is ridiculous. So 6 months later, we go back and she shows me the progression of this S. And I'm like, so basically I was like, well, aren't they going to fall out? And she's like, but it can affect the root. And like, so it went from, so then she's, okay, so maybe she's not full of shit. Like, she needs to get caps put on her teeth. But she's like, and now you've let it progress so far that instead of white caps, she's going to have silver ones. And so now Hattie's got like a mouthful of silver teeth.
Oh, no, Emily.
Like, so then I'm like, she's going to get made fun of at school. Like, and I've caused this because I was basically thought the doctor was full of shit and that that it was all a big scam. And
everyone would have thought that. The doctors usually are trying to just sell you on stuff.
So here's my child with a mouthful of silver caps teeth. And let me tell you, this is the best thing about my daughter, and I'm so thankful for this. When we got out of there, she was like, "Mom, this is so awesome. I've got gold teeth." And I was like, okay.
Oh my God, thank the Lord. She likes it.
She thinks it's cool. She's like, look at where's your gold teeth? Because I got some. Like, she thinks she thought it was the coolest thing ever.
So is my theory that
it wasn't a total mom fail, but it was a mom fail. So I guess the moral of the story is if your kids have cavities in their baby teeth, you probably should do it early because then they'll have silver teeth or the roots will rot. I don't know. But yeah, so fortunately for me, Hattie bailed me out of that mom fail. But the guilt I felt, but the dentist made me feel so guilty.
Like, that's rude. That's not necessary. She must not be a mom.
Oh, well, I mean, and I'm like, anyway, she made me feel like a terrible, terrible parent. And then Hattie fortunately made me feel better because she likes having
Good.
gold teeth, even though they're silver.
I'm worried now because I always was of the vein of thought that baby teeth don't really matter.
Yeah.
And so like if Ryder isn't like brushing his teeth really well, I'm like, whatever. He chipped one of them somehow. I don't even know how. And it's like, whatever. He's going to lose these teeth anyway, right? Like,
yeah, that'll be fine.
You still need to brush them, but
like she would go so far as to be like, when she would be examining her, she'd be looking at me and she'd be like, are you helping her floss her teeth, mommy? Or is it you letting her do it by herself? And I'm like, oh my God. Like I just started flossing my teeth like 2 years ago. Like she's 6.
Never did.
Anyway, so
like we're just trying to keep these little humans alive. Okay, alive and happy. And I feel like when it comes to the way that like I look at all of this and the way that I mom, I'm like, you know what? I'm just never gonna be that mom that has all her S together, that has the very organized, structured day and schedule and sleep schedule. But my kids are going to have fun. Like we have a lot of fun. We do a lot of activities. We love sports. You know, I'll let them stay up late if they are really into a movie and they're cuddling on the couch. Like, well, then whatever. I'll let them have a second dessert if I don't have a reason not to. Like right now we have nothing to wake up for or do the next day. So if they want to stay up late and play, they can. Now that's probably like all wrong for so many reasons, but I've just accepted like that's just the way we all have our, you know,
it's different for everyone
that make us unique. Yeah.
My parenting motto, and I established this when I very first became a mother, and maybe even beforehand, was whatever it takes. Right. Whatever it takes to get through our day, whatever it takes to make it live to see another sunrise, whatever it takes. Yeah. I mean, and the older they get, the more I try to be, you know, structured, just because I see that they thrive on it. In certain situations, but you learn about your kids as they get older. But I'm like, the last thing I'm going to do is judge any other parent's parenting style, because Lord knows I don't have my shit together. And so my whole thing is, whatever works for your family, get after it. Whatever works for mine, I'm going to get after it. And let's just all keep our eyes on our own paper, worry about what's in your 4 walls, and then I'll be happy.
That's all we can do.
Shiny, happy people holding
hands. Yeah, and hopefully just like teach them kindness, right? That's the biggest thing.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
Be kind.
Don't be an asshole. Just be kind.
Exactly. That's all important.
Yeah. We always say, and this is, we'll end it off, or we don't have to end it off, but I always send my kids off to school when we had carpool, and I would always say, you know, seatbelts off, backpacks on. What are we trying to be today? And I would make them say it every day. Kind, grateful, respectful, brave.
Love it.
Those 4 things. Kind, grateful, respectful, brave. And I made them say it every morning as they were getting out of the car. And I'm like, if you can do those 4 things, you're going to be all right in this world. You know, you might have too much ice cream and silver teeth, but if you're those 4 things, you should be all right. Okay, Jules,
I love it.
We did it. We made it through.
We made it through.
Speaking of teeth,
we've talked about teeth quite a bit.
Teeth. Yes. I know. I need to go. Well, I wonder if Hattie's old enough for cosmetic dentistry.
I don't know. We'll have to ask them about the youngest possible age to get cosmetic dentistry. I can't wait to see her gold teeth though. But yes, speaking of dentistry and teeth, of course, just like all of our episodes, this one has been brought to you by Cowden Cosmetic Dentistry. So things are getting back to normal in the state of Texas, little by little. And now, like you learned, you can go to the dentist. So if you haven't yet, give Cowden Cosmetic Dentistry a call. If you have any needs, if you have whitening needs, if you want some veneers, if you want anything, if you need a good cleaning, whatever that may be, just call Anna Cowden and her staff can handle all of your dental needs. You've probably been slacking, maybe gotten behind on your checkups, and they will hook you up. And they're still doing everything very clean, very safe, and taking all of the precautions to make sure that you and your family and their staff are all safe right now. The phone number for Cowden Cosmetic Dentistry 972-380-6223, or you can email them at info@cowdencosmeticdentistry.com. And we're so thankful to have them with us here on the Mom Game.
Yeah, and I can attest to the safety and cleanliness and all that stuff. Before all the shutdown happened, I went and got my teeth whitened at Dr. Cowden's office, and they were already, before things were even implemented, were already paying extra careful attention to all of those procedures as far as making them safe for their clients and making them safe for the people that work in their office. And
awesome.
I was super happy with my Zoom whitening experience. And so I need to ask how much red wine it takes until I have to go back to get it whitened again.
Yes, I know. And I'm planning to go see him. I need to reach out to Adam Cowden, but probably the week after next I'm going to go because I have veneers. So they're going to check on my veneers for me because it's been a long time since I had someone tell me that they're okay and they're not going to fall off.
Yeah. So if you need have any cosmetic dentistry needs, please reach out to Cowden Cosmetic Dentistry. They really are an awesome partner for us, and we're so thankful for what they do.
Yes.
And as we end every podcast, as I like to do, to try to build our little community,
of course,
reach out to us on Twitter is the easiest way, at the Mom Game 1. Like we've said from day one, we want this to be a community. We want you to feel like you're a part of it. I love getting people's feedback. I don't know about you, Julie, but when someone shoots me, like I'll have somebody shoot me a text message or tweet, and I'm like, it makes my day. Just because I'm like, holy shit, someone's actually listening. This is awesome.
Yeah. We were getting tweets about ranking the chores. Yes, everyone was weighing in on their thoughts on that. So this week, what's your biggest mom fail? Have you failed this week at anything?
Yeah, maybe we'll share some of the best ones next week.
Yes, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
I know.
And then ask us any questions you have. I think we should start trying to build up like a ask us anything. We could do that. Maybe we'll start that on the Twitter this week, to where you can kind of ask us anything, and we'll go through and answer questions based on, those that you have. So we are so appreciative. If you've hung around this long, God bless you. Thanks for letting me vent. Julie, thank you for being my therapist today.
Of course. Now, what time is it? In an hour, have a glass of wine. That's what I'm going to leave you with. That's my advice.
Well, I'll go after I get my cankle checked out by Dr. Meister.
Yeah, maybe you want to wait till after that appointment. Don't show up with your wine to your cankle appointment.
Okay, all right.
Good luck with your cankle.
Thanks. I need it. Okay.
You're welcome.
We love you guys. All right, Mom Game out.
Okay, Mom Game out. See you next week.